So this is overview of the different screenings that were con conducted within Sao Paulo and Salvador da Bahia. And so I'm going to give you a brief overview of the film Domatilha, the story of a prostitute. So originally this was not the film that I intended to show within, within Brazil. But luckily and thankfully, it was the only film that I actually received access to present. So thankfully, it did actually, luckily the audiences confirmed many of my notions of understanding the connections between the Global South and also disconnections. But definitely this was, you know, in order to understand Black identity, this was not the film that I intended, but it still provides rich information about showing the contiguities. All right, so Domitila is a Nollywood film directed by Nigerian filmmaker Zebajiro that humanizes the trials and tribulations of three prostitutes, featuring a woman named Domitila as the central character. This was one of the first Nollywood films to capture the perspective of structural inequalities within Nigeria through the lens of prostitution. The film represents cosmopolitan Lagos, Nigeria in 1996 through the stories of three female friends, one of whom is Domitila. They live together and Domitila works during the day as a secretary and at night as a prostitute. So she is invited by one of her co-workers to attend an elite party that is meant for a place to find lovers. And at the party, Domitila meets a high-ranking official named Chief Lawson and falls in love. He maintains Domitila financially by providing her with an apartment and money to support her disabled father and younger siblings. In one of the last rendezvous that Domitila has with her friends, they ride in a car with what appears to be a well-paying male client. The males act as if they're going to take the women to a party, but instead they are taken to a deserted place. Two of three prostitutes escape. The third, named Jennifer, is murdered by strangulation and decapitated. Later, in the police station, Domitila confirms the remains of her friend's body, namely Jennifer's head. The center of the cold and empty room, Jennifer's waxy head is showcased eyeless. The police explain to Domitila that the method of killing is evidence that her body was used for ritual sacrifice. These events caused Domitila to lose her job as a secretary. Eventually, Chief Lawson's wife finds out about his affair, and she subsequently plots to kill Domitila by hiring a hotel clerk as an assassin. The official's wife lets her daughter, a sociology student, know about her sentiments towards the prostitute, and her daughter reminds the mother of their Yoruba culture, one which allows men to have more than one wife. The daughter advises her mother to accept the reality and warns her father that her mother may attempt to kill Domitila, but the warning is ignored. The clerk is ultimately unsuccessful in administering poison to Domitila, but kills Chief Lawson instead. The police assume that Domitila, a prostitute, killed her lover because no one would suspect that the chief's wife would be the culprit. Domitila escapes to a church, but is taken to jail as the main suspect in the murder. Her first male lawyer proves to be incompetent, and the second lawyer is a competent female defender of women's rights. At the end of the movie, Domitila's defense lawyer brings the public official's daughter, a sociology student, to the stand, and she admits that she overheard her mother plot to kill Domitila. Based on key witnesses, Domitila beats the odds and is acquitted. So now I'm going to just show you some scenes so that you all are kind of also getting a feel for the movie, as well as seeing some of the scenes that I just described. And this will help to contextualize audience members' responses to Domitila. All right. I'm going to stop the share. And find my wonderful. Okay. Let's see. I opened it up. Didn't have it open. I have a lot of screens open. All right. All right, 1 second, and I will show this. If not, we'll just keep on going. I think it's taking a little bit, so we'll just open it up again. Okay. All right. So I think what we'll show you first is beheading. So if you guys are not into
writing's not that
watching things that could be a little bit disturbing, you may want to not watch at this time.
All right. We usually collect the money before we leave. Yeah. People there, and I promise you, they have 50 or double your money. So what do you think? Are you sure we have four? What do you think? Okay. All right. What are your name? Oh, Cynthia, my sister's Valerie. And Vivian. Is this where the party is taking place?
Oh yeah, exactly. In there.
But I can see it.
Shut up! I paid you. Now move. Move.
Is everyone able to see? Because I mean, sometimes I know this doesn't make sure.
My screen is frozen. Now I can see it. A minute ago it was
I had a
frozen.
feeling, I'm like, uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I was like, something said just in case. All right, so everyone can see now? Moving? So you can definitely get an idea. of, and we'll go to the end as well. Just get another glimpse.
Tell the court your name, occupation, and address.
If you ever buy plane tickets, you should use WikiBuy. It's a browser extension that automatically.
I'm Helen Lawson, a Part 2 student of sociology at Ahmad Bello University, Zaire.
Miss Helen Lawson, can you tell this court why you are in the witness box for the defense?
I just found out that my mother killed my father.
Silence in court. Tell us what happened.
2 nights ago, I overheard my mother and the man talking.
Madam, it was a mistake and you know it.
An expensive mistake. You killed my husband and you call that a mistake. You are just a stupid, fumbling idiot.
Madam.
Shut up! You cannot even handle a small issue upon an ordinary prostitute. I don't have any money to waste on a lousy idiot like you. Now get out of here before I throw you out. Get out! I said you should get out of my house.
My mother connived with the hotel manager to kill Domitila, and in the process killed my father. That's who I killed my father.
Get kind of an idea of the film. All right, so what we're going to do is continue sharing, and we're going to wrap it up quickly since it looks like time is. All right. Okay, so based on this, you can kind of see what the audiences were viewing and how you can take in, you can see how you all will respond. And also see how do you think audiences responded. So overall, the major themes, narratives that were discussed within the groups were female oppression, global male patriarchy, universal social class, universal themes, capitalism, hegemony, and similar to telenovelas or melodrama. So one participant explained that the parallels, that Domitila parallels our social structure. The film showed people striving to go above social status. As a psychologist, I've worked with a variety of Domitilas in the same situation. And, sorry, I can't see because, let's see, how do I move this? Okay. Yeah, the notion of submission parallels Brazil and parallels favelas and poor areas. Okay, so overall, in terms of diasporic ties on the Black visual body, so many people within the different groups could identify, and we're happy to see Blacks in power and in basically predominantly Black production. The clothing oftentimes were keys to signify Africanity. Within Brazil, currently the situation is contentious within the Yoruba or Candomblé or African spiritual traditional communities, and that many people have become evangelical. Many Blacks have become evangelical, and many people practicing the the traditional Afro-Brazilian, African Brazilian religions, such as Candomblé, are now Arabic, white, you know, multifaceted. So like these, in terms of understanding African